There are several different international mechanisms working to achieve justice for the Rohingya. Let's look at them all here. Any UN member country can file a case before the ICJ against another UN member country for violating international law. The country of Gambia has brought the case before the ICJ against the Myanmar government for committing genocide and failing to prevent the genocide against the Rohingya. Gambia has asked the ICJ to declare that Myanmar must cease ongoing genocidal acts, ensure that those responsible for genocide are held to account before a competent domestic court inside Myanmar, and provide reparations to Rohingya victims of genocidal acts, including allowing the Rohingya to safely return to Myanmar, respect for the full citizenship of the Rohingya, protection for the Rohingya against discrimination and persecution. If the ICJ finds that Myanmar has violated the Genocide Convention, Myanmar would be obliged to comply with the ICJ ruling. If they fail to comply, the UN Security Council can take appropriate measures, such as sanctions and diplomatic and economic pressure. The ICC is currently investigating into the conduct of officials in command responsible for crimes against the Rohingya. The ICC only has jurisdiction over countries who have signed an agreement known as the Rome Statute. Unfortunately, Myanmar has not signed it, but Bangladesh has. As the Rohingya have been deported predominantly into Bangladesh, the ICC has been able to pursue the case. This, however, means that the scope of the ICC investigation is limited to crimes against humanity, such as deportation, which began in Myanmar but occurred partly inside Bangladesh. If the ICC prosecutors team collects sufficient evidence, the ICC can issue arrest warrants for accused members of the Myanmar military. However, ICC relies on countries, including Myanmar, to arrest the individuals so they can face trial. Apart from ICJ and ICC, it's important we talk about the principle of universal jurisdiction. Some crimes are so serious that it harms the entire international community and they cannot go unpunished. In certain circumstances, the domestic court of any country can prosecute individuals for serious crimes, such as genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, or torture, irrespective of where they happened, who committed them, and who suffered. This principle is known as universal jurisdiction, or UJ. The courts in Argentina are the first to open an investigation related to crimes faced by the Rohingya under the principle of UJ. Rohingya victims of the crimes may be approached to give testimony and assist with the investigations. Like the ICC, if and when sufficient evidence is collected, the courts in Argentina can issue arrest warrants. However, the court would rely on the cooperation of the Myanmar government to arrest individuals named in the case, or rely on Interpol, which is the International Criminal Police, to arrest the individuals. Even without a trial or conviction, arrest warrants would stigmatize the defendants by name, limit their travel outside Myanmar, and potentially freeze some of their income and assets. Finally, it's important to talk about a dedicated UN entity called the IIMM. The IIMM's job is to collect and analyze evidence of the most serious international crimes committed in Myanmar since 2011. The IIMM is not a court, but they collect testimonies from survivors and information from organizations so they can be used as evidence. IIMM prepares confidential case files that can be shared with other courts to assist in their prosecutions. They are currently working closely with the ICC and ICJ cases. IIMM's aim is that these stories are not forgotten and safely stored to be used to help bring perpetrators to justice. If you'd like to provide survivor testimony to the IIMM, please contact this number using Signal or email here.